Hi, John Meter here from Northern Stars Planetarium. I'd like to do another constellation charade with you. We're going to draw our constellation together, and as we draw it, you see if you can figure out which constellation it is. And then at the end, we'll learn a little bit more about it. So let's begin. First thing you need to do is to get a piece of paper and something to draw with. And once you get your piece of paper and get all set, we will start together. So go get that, pause the video for a moment, I'll wait for you. Alright, now hopefully you've got your paper and everything ready. To start with, just like we did before, put an N on the top for north, an S on the bottom for south, an east, E on the left for east, and a W on the right for west. Notice that we have the paper horizontally this time. Because of the shape of our constellation, we need a horizontal landscape format, and that'll serve us well today. Let's begin our drawing right in the center. Put a star right there, just a mediumly bright star. Not dim, but not super bright either. You can either draw a star like I'm drawing, or you can just put a little dot. After all, stars aren't really pointed. They're round, just like the sun. And we just give them points to make them look like they're twinkling or something, I guess. I like to draw them that way, though. You can do it any way you want. So there's our first star. The second one's going to be directly above it, just maybe not quite 2 finger width, since it's a little bit fainter, so let's make it a little bit smaller, like that. And while we're going up, we'll go up to the northwest and put another one right here, like that. Go further to the northwest, we're going to add another little faint one right there. Right underneath it, yet another. And then come back a little and we'll put another one, making a kind of little square up there in the corner. That's our start. Now go back to where we started from, and we're going to go almost due east and put one right over here, like that. Due south underneath it, another one. And come further to the east, we might as well get the easternmost one right here. Kind of makes a little triangle with those last two right there. Come underneath it, we're getting another little faint one here, and a faint one there. Am I going too fast? I hope not. I'll give you a moment to catch up. So we have a diagonal, spattering of stars across the sky. But we need to finish up because that's only part of our constellation. Go back to where we started, and now we've got to go down towards the southwest. So go to the southwest and put a little faint one right there. It's not a very bright star, but it's a really interesting star, as we'll see in a few moments. Directly underneath that little star is going to be the brightest star in our constellation, so we need to make this one a little bit bigger to suggest that it's a brighter star, because that's the brightest one in our constellation today. There we go, right there. Nice and sparkly. And there's two more. Underneath that, to the southwest, we have two. One right there, little faint ones, and one right there. And that's our entire constellation. Anyone know what it is yet? Well, let's draw some lines and see what we can find. We're going to start with our bright star right here and draw a line straight up to the one above it. Now go diagonally over to this one, and then straight above that, then over here, and down. What does that look like? Sort of like a question mark, only it's backwards. As a matter of fact, it's sometimes called the backwards question mark. It's also known as the sickle. Now, the backwards question mark and the sickle are not constellations. When you get a pattern in the sky that looks like something but it's not an official constellation, we call it an asterism. So this is an asterism known as the sickle or the backwards question mark, because regular question marks go the other way. Well, if you know anything about constellations, that's a big hint telling you what constellation this is. Though what it is has nothing to do with question marks or sickles. Draw a line from this star back here. We'll leave the sickle behind, and we'll finish making our constellation like this. Any ideas yet? Well, let's give him some legs. Couple back legs and 2 front legs, and we find Leo the lion. Now there are a couple different ways to interpret Leo. This big square obviously is the lion's body. This is his tail. Regulus might be his heart. This curve is sometimes drawn with a line across here. Let's just draw it down as the lion's head. But I like to incorporate these two stars, add another little square, and call that his head, and this part is his furry mane. So we have a head with a nose up here, a furry mane and a body, two front legs, two back legs, and a tail. The bright star is named Regulus. He was named by Copernicus, and it means little king. Well, lions are the king of the beasts after all, so it's an appropriate name. This star here's name is Algiba, A-L-G-E-I-B-A, and it means mane. Well, it's appropriate, it's the part of the lion's mane. This star's name is Zosma, Z-O-S-M-A, and I just think that's a cool name. The one down here, that's the tip of the tail, right? That star's name is Denobla, D-E-N-E-B-O-L-A. And you'll see the term Deneb all over the sky. There are several stars that incorporate the term Deneb, which means tail. And Denobla is the star that marks the tail of Leo the lion. So here we have Leo. And his nose is up here. So we've got some interesting stars. But if you remember right, I said the one I find most interesting is this little one. Its name is Eta, E-T-A, Leonis, L-E-O, stands for Leo, N-I-S. Now it's much fainter than the stars around it, but it's actually only faint because it's really, really far away, over 2,000 light years away. Now, a lot of stars are bigger than the sun, and as you probably know, the sun's pretty big. It's over 1,000,000 times larger than the Earth. To give you an idea of how big Eta Leonis is, let's compare it to not only the sun, but to Regulus. Let's draw a little side picture over here. Let's imagine that's the size of the sun. If that's how big the sun would be, the Earth would be microscopic. But if you brought Regulus over and put it next to the sun, let's label it here, S-U-N. Regulus is bigger than the sun. It would be about that big around. That's a pretty big star. So there's Regulus. Right there. That's the same as that one over there. But if we brought Eta Leonis into our little drawing here, it wouldn't fit on the piece of paper. If we put the edge of it, it would be about this big around. Right here. Only you have to go all the way around. So that is a giant star. It only looks faint to us because of its extreme distance away. So some stars are really immense, and that's one of the big ones. So here's Leo the lion. One more thing I'd like to add is another line. This is an imaginary line that comes across the sky right underneath Regulus, like this, right under his hind legs. It's called the ecliptic, E-C-L-I-P-T-I-C. And that's the path the sun travels through the stars. So every year, from late July to late August, the sun is traveling right through or underneath Leo the lion in this part of the sky. So that time of year you can't see Leo because in August, Leo's up right behind the sun. And on August 22nd, it's right in close to Regulus. So they kind of combine together, the king and the sun together. So it's a mighty thing to think about happening in the sky. Well, I hope you've enjoyed exploring Leo the lion with me today. Leo's visible in the evening sky from late winter right through spring to almost early summer, and starts to disappear in June. It's a pretty easy one to find. Look in the southeastern sky in the early part of the year, in the southwest in the later part of late spring and early summer, and that's where you'll find Leo. Of course, in the late summer, he'll be behind the sun. Don't look for him then. Until then, next time, we'll draw another one. Come on back, and between now and then, keep looking up. Bye-bye.